नमस्कार दर्शक मित्रों, Dr. Jaynarayan Vyas for the global crossroads at this end. Friends, since last few days and especially yesterday, an event has hawked the news. Those who were disregarding it, those who were mocking at it, those who were laughing at it, those who were putting in the social media number of memes, they all discarded cockroach, a small insect, as a cockroach, inconsequential. But then they are forgetting that the history has proven that many large things have happened about which the world has sit in attention and taken note. Started with a small beginning. The freedom struggle for India got the final push during the Dandi Yatra, where Mahatma Gandhi traveled all the way up to Dandi on the seashore in the South Gujarat and lifted only a handful of salt. That's all. Why salt? Because there was a tax during the British regime. And therefore, he said that this is our right. Water is ours, land is ours. The God has given the rains, the God has given the sea, the God has given the sunlight. And the salt, which is part of every day's meal for an average Indian, is taxed. We will not tolerate it. So this was not only a small movement related with breaking the salt tax or salt cess act. It was a movement which was a challenge to British Empire, which was a resolve that millions of Indians made, telling Britishers to quit India. And ultimately, India was liberated. We became a sovereign republic, which we are today. Similarly, a small insect started appearing. The word was born out of some consequences about which it is not necessary for me to go into the history. But think about cockroach. Cockroach is an insect which breeds under most untenable conditions, humidity, heat, and all kind of filth. That is the birthplace of cockroach. It feeds itself on filth, grows, survives your fleet and heat, survives the effort of the mankind that they want to sort of eradicate cockroach from this earth. No way. So cockroach is an insect which represents teeming millions in this country who are facing conditions which are not so friendly for life. They don't get proper education, don't get proper treatment either. 80 crore plus people get their meals because the government of India makes 5 kilo per person per month free quota ration available. How long you will do it as a country? Their lot has remained the same. I am waiting for the government of India to declare that now from 80 crore, we are supplying free 5 kg per person per month wheat or any other grain to 30 crore people. 50 crore, they have become now self-sufficient. And they don't need any support from the government. I'm waiting for that day. That will be a golden day in the history of India, which will tell us that no, we have done something. It's a mammoth task, very difficult task. But if achieved, it will be a mammoth achievement for the government of the day and also people of India. So cockroach is a symbol. Don't take it as an insect. Don't neglect it also. Don't mimic it. Don't create memes. All those who were doing this have fallen flat. The national media yesterday had to rush to cover them. They never gave any weightage to this movement. This is a passing shower. It will go away. They didn't realize that this is not a passing shower. The eye of the storm was building up over Delhi, which was bound to attract the clouds from the distant and surrounding areas, the students from far and near. They all rushed to Delhi. There was a huge crowd, millions of people, millions of students. They were marching towards the parliament. I think for the first time, the parliament doors were closed, fearing them to enter parliament. कॉकरोच कहीं पार्लियामेंट में चला नहीं जाए, उसके लिए हमारी संसद, नई संसद जो बनी है, शोपीस संसद, उसके दरवाजे बंद कर दिए गए. Heavy security deployment was made there. The police behaved brutally. The canes used for lathi charge were those which can give the highest injury, not meant for the usual lathi charge or cane charge. They are not canes. They were weapons. Tear gas was used lavishly. The students, many of them got injured, but refused to budge in. उन्हें जब बोला गया, when they were told that why don't you go away and take a medical treatment, they said, हमें चोट तो यहाँ लगी है, पैरों में नहीं, और ये चोट जब तक नहीं मिटती, कोई भी चोट सहन करने की हमारी तैयारी है. Such deep was the anguish. Such deep was the expression of anguish against the establishment. The reason that brought these people together was leakage of NEET examination paper, and in lieu of that, the demand for resignation of the education minister of center, union education minister, Dharmendra Pradhan. Dharmendra Pradhan, incidentally, himself is a former student leader, Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad activist, has protested several times and done many things which this crowd was doing. But now he is a Pradhan. He was Pradhan by birth. Now he is Pradhan by designation also. And that Pradhan by designation seems to have gone into his head. Or those who control his head are not willing to permit it to roll till appropriate time, when he could be labeled as a martyr. Sonam Wangchuk, once upon a time, very respected person even in India, Magsaysay Award winner, many other prestigious award winner in the world, is now being branded as anti-national, having connections with Pakistan and CIA. What rubbish! What were you doing till the time you are now making these allegations? Your raw, which messed up the murder case involvement in US, your raw, which failed to read that rebellion was coming to throw away the Bangladesh Prime Minister who went to India just a week before for participating into the oath-taking ceremony for the third time of the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. Seems our intelligence also has gone into slumber. Since long it appears that our intelligence cannot trace who came to Pahalgam and what happened thereafter. What happened to the dynamite blast which blown off one of the buses ferrying our armed forces? It seems our security personnel and intelligence people are more busier chasing the opposition leaders to either silence them, put them behind bar, or make them change the party. This has become their main job. And therefore, internal or external security is none of their concern. We have seen a mishap when intelligence went on giving the news of Chinese activity on the other side of the border to the defense minister then. And he discarded it lightly, saying कि हो ही नहीं सकता, यहाँ तक कौन आने वाला है. Even Nehru refused to believe it. So that being the scenario, Cockroach, the youth, the frustration is that we have taken the education as you wanted to give us. After that, we have gone through the training programs, some of them even for joining quota or some other coaching class. The mother sold her ornaments, or father put the residential house as a guarantee to take the loan. When they found that there is no hope for them because of the paper leaks, because of the irregularities, it is not when neat paper leaks, it is a leak alone. It is postponement of the examination, and it is like stopping a vehicle to a screaming halt when it is traveling at 150 miles per hour. The students have given their utmost best for preparations. Just few hours, few days, and the paper leak burst their hopes. The exams are postponed. Students commit suicide because they know that they are ruined either ways. So the youth, this generation, it is cockroach is the symbol of this generation, which ask a blunt and straightforward question that we have done everything that you wanted us to do. Then why this treatment of leaking of exam papers, malpractices in evaluation of the papers and selection of the people? Why? Why are we who have the merit not getting respected? What is the problem? And those who spend their golden years of life pursuing the knowledge did wonderfully in their exams. They don't have jobs because jobs are few and far to come by. So it is their frustration for the conditions today and a bleak future that they visualize in the times to come. So cockroach represents on one side have-nots, who 50% of the population in this country owns 1% of the GDP. They don't have 2 times square meal to eat. Government has to support 80 crore of people, which is an indirect admission that in 75th year of independence, out of 145 crore, 80 crore plus, that is more than 50% people, are still under the poverty line, still required to be fed through free rations. Have we progressed or the progress is retrograde? That is the question the masses would ask in a symbolic way of cockroach. The students ask, what will be our future? What are we going to find? India is the youngest country in the world. Our average age is 31 years. Life expectancy has gone up to 71 years for the male and 73 years for the female. Where do we go? 70% of the population is less than 35 years of age. This is the youth. 70% of your country's population. Even if you stop at 35 years, which again is incorrect. On the other side, Japan is going to have more elderly people, senior people. China is aging. America is aging. Europe is aging. There is ample opportunities if you have imparted correct skills to your youth. These people will be very happy to employ them because they need hands to work for them. And don't be under any wrong illusion that AI will do everything for everybody. No. Ultimately, to control AI, you need a man. Unless there is a brain behind any artificial intelligence model, it doesn't work. So more people who are AI qualified will have the opportunities compared to those who are not AI qualified. That is the difference going to be. But then, where are the opportunities? 80% of the wealth, and some say 90% of the wealth, is in the hands of 20% of the people. Out of the remaining, give a very liberal count of only 6% for a burgeoning middle class. Even then, you are left with 3% of the GDP for 50% of the population. Unequal distribution of wealth, unequal distribution of resources as well. So far, though Babus will say only 16% come from the agriculture as a share in GDP. They don't realize that 50% plus direct indirect employment belongs to agriculture sector. Agriculture provides some important raw materials like sugarcane, paddy, corn, potatoes, wheat, and many others. The milk production, the cooperative milk sector, white revolution we talk about. We are today a country which is producing highest milk in the world. And yet, we waste fruits, vegetables, and grains worth 100,000 crores, a lakh of crores, because we don't have processing, storing, and cold chain facilities. So agriculture provides some critical raw materials for the industry. Gadkari is talking about ethanol. It's not going to come out of heaven unless you have either corn or sugarcane. Where are you going to get ethanol from? First of all, ethanol use itself is, I am not in favor of it. There are various reasons which can be stated defying Gadkari's theory. First of all, it is better for Gadkari not to speak about ethanol because he himself, his son, is in the line of manufacturing ethanol. And thereby, the office of profit principle must apply to Gadkari also. He should not speak. He is doing enough by providing roads which are so good that either you'll have to change the jumpers or if you use ethanol, the engine. Come and travel with me from Baroda to Surat. You will find the quality of road he is tom-tomming from the rooftop. और अभी तो बारिश का मौसम उतना नहीं आया. So agriculture provides this raw material. You export onions, you export garlic, you export wheat, you export sugarcane. You export sugar. All are agriculture products. Then third, the agriculture also provides income to the rural market, which is a massive personal disposable income, which provides a solid market to India's manufacturing sector. 55% of the motorcycles produced in India are sold in the rural market. 52% of the cloth is sold in the rural market. Number of things which are eatables, this even including the so-called mineral water, we call pure water. 50% plus market for the production which is being made in India is rural India, and rural India depends upon agricultural income. If agriculture is good in Kerala, saris will sell well during Onam in Surat. If there is good monsoon around West Bengal, the puja buying from Surat will be very good. Sutis will be very happy. And if Bihar and Uttar Pradesh have good rains, good agriculture, Chhat purchases from Surat will be very good. So, third thing is that agriculture provides more than 50% of the market for the Indian consumer products. And the fourth is that it to some extent, encourages two things. It supports the milk production as a secondary activity in most of the cases, and uniform distribution of wealth. But still more important, the fourth factor is food security. You and I get our bread because our farmers produce wheat. They produce bajra, they produce jawar, they produce makkah. So four factors. So don't consider agriculture as a 16% GDP sector. It will be pure and outright nonsense. If you were to import 20 million tons of food grain, you will realize what it means. At the time when we wrote our first 5-year plan, 50 million tons was the food grains production of India. Today, it is 4,000 million tons plus. If at all the cycles of recession do not touch India or create much of a problem for employment or otherwise, it is because of agriculture, because of the rural employment. So cockroach is a combination of all these factors, expectations put together. Farmers want their dues. Agriculture no more remains viable. Average farm size was 27,000 square yards, 27,000 square meters if you say. Today it is 7,000 square meters. I am talking about first 5-year plan when it was written. The average farm size was 27,000 square meters. Today it is 7,000 square meters. Water is unevenly distributed and getting exhausted. We had 5,600 plus meter cube per person per year water availability. Today it has dwindled down to around 1,100 meter cube per person per year. And since 1/3 of the water is distributed in 2/3 of the area, most of the states like Gujarat are water-starved states having per capita water availability which is less than 800 meter cube per person per year, which is a water-starved condition. So cockroach is out to talk about all these things, I believe. Or at least cockroach is becoming a vehicle to create a dialogue, to create a discussion, which was so far, for one reason or the another, suppressed. And only one voice prevailed. I think this movement was underestimated by all any sector experts. They thought that this is a small thing, like a person, Dipke, coming and going and protesting against the paper leak and asking for the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan. No, that itself surprised me. The way Dipke came, the way he was given safe passage, the way he was not arrested and permitted to go towards where he wanted to go to Janata Mantar. Still, the doubts are green in my mind. Why it happened? Why he was not arrested? Why he was given a safe passage? Who was behind it? Is what another Ramlila Maidan kind of a drama in making? Is Cockroach? Is another Ramlila Maidan movement? And Dipke is another Anna Hazare awaiting to give birth to Kejriwal and provide a sustainable cover to Bharatiya Janata Party and Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. Why Dipke was given a safe passage is $1 million question. Nobody is today asking. Ultimately, the way this agitation has sprang up and the way the demands are going on, and the day now the control has getting sort of spread, I think even if this is the design, that Dipke be another role model kind of a thing, another drama like Ramlila Maidan, I think things are going out of their hands. They are fighting a losing battle. The wisdom lies in a dialogue. The wisdom lies in a settlement. The wisdom lies in genuinely working for farmers, youth, and have-nots. These are the three sectors which are neglected by all political parties. They always thrived upon creating cleavages in the name of religion, in the name of region, in the name of language, in the name of another cult or this cult or that cult. Time has come now. Somebody stands up and say, hey, we are the original owners of this country. Farm size with less than 5,000 square meter by 2035. What do you expect Swaminathan Committee's formula? If you apply that, the minimum support price for wheat will come 2,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees, lowest per 20 kg. Who will buy it? Where are those kind of money with the huge burgeoning middle class? When almost 90% of the wealth is concentrated with 10% of the people. Even if you consider people with monthly income of 60,000 plus, that is yearly income of 7,20,000. Then this percentage will be slightly spread. From 80, it will become 90%. So 80, it will become 70%. So 70% will control in that case almost 90% plus of wealth. 50% of the downtrodden will control 1% of GDP. In this kind of unequal distribution of wealth, unequal distribution of resources, unequal distribution of talents, unequal distribution of opportunities, you have created a mess for this country. There doesn't seem to be any plausible answer in sight. And still, we should not lose hope. We can bounce back. The government now is enough. They have enough numbers. Stop this bloody game of taking away people from one party to the NDA. Attend to the burning problems of the country. They are unemployment, unequal distribution of resources, burgeoning poverty, cleavages, polarization, the correct people not being placed in correct place, merit is being given a go-by. With this kind of a situation, no country can run, much less a country which is the highest populated country in the world. And in that case, friends, I conclude, mark my words, that the population which is so far branded as a demographic dividend, and it could be even today, I believe, if genuinely and smartly it is handled, will become a demographic disaster. It will be a demographic disaster. Are you waiting for it? It could happen anytime. Because still nobody is concerned beyond himself. Nobody is concerned about the country. At least the youth has come out if the intents are right and if the motivating forces are not like Ramlila Maidan drama, which was enacted with Narayan and Baba Ramdev. I think something good is going to happen. And my advice to Dharmendra Pradhan, who has been a student activist himself, is better to quit. Remember Don Bradman, Dharmendra Pradhan, that when he was hitting centuries, he declared one day his retirement from the Test cricket. People asked him that why you are good enough for many years yet. He said it is better to quit when people ask you why rather than when. Don't wait for people asking you when. Let them ask you why, Dharmendra. You were not the only person who has been made a scapegoat. You will gain in future. You are young. You have many years to come. Don't be the epicenter of this earthquake. It will claim you and claim you forever. My best wishes to you, my best wishes to the country, and my best wishes to the youth as well. That the ultimate answer lies in sitting together, negotiating, restraint, creating a force which creates a fear in the minds of ruling forces, whatever they are, that no, there is somebody going to stand up and ask us a question. Number would not matter. That day, India would really be liberated. Let's hope for that. Bye till then. See you sometimes again. Maybe with this issue getting further discussed, or maybe with some more issues which are already cropping on the surfaces. One of them is the impact of El Nino this year, which might reduce the agriculture production by 9 to 10%. And if you consider agriculture's contribution to GDP is 16%, that means 1.6% of the GDP will be reduced. From that 6% imaginary GDP which you are counting, which itself is a very ambitious figure. If the GDP tumbles down to 4.5%, the country will be in a real mess. The finances will be in a real mess. The tax income the government of India might have assumed, Nirmala Sitharaman might have worked out at the back of the cover, will not materialize. They will not have money to be spent liberally for relief works. The states will be still worse because now they are supposed to be bearing a substantial cost of Viramji ki scheme. Central is no more the sole contributory. So in that situation, I think acceptance of the problem that it exists, first thing. Working honestly, keeping across the party line the experts and knowledgeable people together to work in the interest of the country. And working a policy that is in the long-term interest and that can revive this country, which is almost on the brink of disaster. God bless us all. Thank you. Here is Dr. Jaynarayan Vyas returning you to the studio. Jai Hind.